You are cursed!
It's time, since they want to bring back Mr. Tomko, let's go over the career of Mr. Travis Tomko. So, he started out his career in Ohio Valley Wrestling in 2002. Tomko was signed to a World Wrestling Federation developmental contract in April 2002, assigned to Ohio Valley Wrestling. While in OVW, he was a member of the Disciples of Sin stable, along with stablemate Seven. Oh, it's Kevin Thorne! It was Kevin Thorne!
Oh, no.
He was in a team with Kevin Thorne.
Oh, no.
Oh, my... So, they captured the OVW Southern Tag Team Championships. On March 5th, 2003 is when they won them, though they lost them less than a month later to the APA. Why did the APA win the OVW Tag Team titles?
I don't.
Then he was on Raw from it says 2003 to 2003. It says in July 2003, Tomko began working dark matches for the Raw brand. He made his television debut on April 19th, 2004. So in 2003, he was just doing dark matches the whole year.
Bro.
He debuted on the April 19th, 2004 edition of Raw in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, interfering in a Christian versus Chris Jericho match on Christian's behalf and helping him pick up the win. His gimmick was that of the problem solver and acting as an enforcer for hire for Christian and his kayfabe girlfriend Trish Stratus in their feud with Chris Jericho. His singles matches were few and far between. His main goal was ensuring victory for his clients, usually by interfering. When Christian suffered a legit back injury, Tomko continued to stand by Trish Stratus and aid her in gaining an advantage in feuds against Jericho, Victoria, and Steven Richards. I didn't know she had a feud with Steven Richards. The duo occasionally paired together for mixed tag team matches. Upon Christian's return, Tomko immediately paired with him again, filling the same role as before. Following the on-screen split between Stratus and Christian, their dispute seemingly was over Tomko's services. Tomko remained Christian's enforcer. The duo also wrestled as a tag team on occasion, sometimes aligning themselves with Christian's former tag team partner and real-life friend Edge. In June 2005, Tomko, Christian, and Edge joined forces with Eric Bischoff in his crusade against ECW. Tomko and Christian were separated on June 2005 when Christian was drafted to SmackDown on his own. Tomko was pushed as a monster heel, winning singles matches against many jobbers by kayfabe knocking them out after hitting a big boot to the back of the head. On Raw, he knocked out both World Tag Team Champions, the Hurricane and Rosie. His winning streak ended after he was pinned by John Cena 2 weeks in a row. Tomko then went on to form... No, they gotta be taking the piss. He went on to form a tag team with Snitsky. However, they were not given much of a push. On April 3rd, 2006, Tomko quit WWE on good terms and began working in Japan. Then we go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, 2006 to 2008. Tomko debuted in New Japan Pro Wrestling on July 1st, 2006, participating in an 8-man tag match, which he won. A few days later, Tomko and Giant Bernard took part in a tournament to determine the interim IWGP Tag Team Champions and reached the finals before losing to Shiro Koshinaka and Togi Makabe. Tomko participated in a tournament for the vacant IWGP Championship, which had been vacated by Brock Lesnar, and lost in the first round to Yuji Nagata. He also participated in the G1 Tag League 2006 in Block B with Giant Bernard and reached the semifinal before losing to the eventual winners Masahiro Chono and Shinsuke Nakamura. At Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome, Tomko teamed... No! No! What was this team? What is this team? What in New Japan? What were you thinking? So Tomko teamed up with D'Lo Brown and Bull Buchanan.
Why?
To take on Tomohiro Ishii, Togi Makabe, and Toru Yano. Makabe pinned Buchanan. Tomko lost to Togi Makabe in the first round of the New Japan Cup 2007. On March 11, 2007, Tomko and Giant Bernard defeated Manabu Nakaishi and Takao Omori to win the IWGP Tag Team Championship. Tomko and Bernard joined Masahiro Chono's Black Faction. You can't call it that. Black Faction.
Oh,
and would eventually defect to Rise. The pair won the G1 Tag League in 2007 by defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi and Koji Kanemoto. At Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo Dome 2, Tomko and Bernard defeated the Steiner Brothers.
No.
They lost the titles on February 2nd, 2008 to Great Bash heel members Togi Makabe and Toru Yano. Tomko was released in early March 2008 after New Japan decided not to renew his contract. New Japan was struggling financially and could not afford to keep him. They did, however, re-sign his tag team partner. Oh, here we go. Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling. His first stint was in 2006 to 2008. So, on the November 23rd, 2006 episode of TNA Impact, Tomko made his debut in a run-in during NWA World Heavyweight Championship #1 Contenders match between Christian Cage and Sting, attacking Sting and siding with Cage, once again acting as Christian's enforcer. On the January 11th, 2007 episode of Impact, Tomko went one-on-one against NWA World Heavyweight Champion Abyss in a non-title match, so this wasn't his first Impact title match. To avoid interference, Jim Cornette locked Christian in a cage and also had Kurt Angle at ringside during the bout. During the match, Angle got into a brawl with Samoa Joe, leaving Cage to escape the cage and interfere in the match, causing a disqualification. On the March 1st edition of Impact, he beat Samoa Joe for an NWA title shot against Christian Cage. On the March 8th edition of Impact, Christian's Coalition lost to Kurt Angle, Rhino, and Samoa Joe by disqualification after interference from Abyss, who black hole slammed Kurt Angle. At Destination X, while getting out of the limo onto the black and blue carpet, Christian Cage received a telegram from Tomko stating that Tomko was in Japan and would come back if Cage would give him a title shot. Once Tomko returned from Japan, Cage offered Tomko a spot on Team Cage at Lockdown, but Tomko said he would not choose a team until he got a shot at the NWA World Championship. It ended up being that Jim Cornette came out and said that the main event on Impact that night would be one member from Team Cage fighting one member of Team Angle. Whichever team member won, Tomko would go to the team the member was from. It would be Abyss from Team Cage fighting Kurt Angle from Team Angle. In the end, Kurt Angle won by pinfall, but after the match, Tomko signed on to Team Cage instead of Team Angle, making him the final member of Team Cage to fight Team Angle. I'm tired of saying the word team at Lockdown. Along with Abyss, oh my god, Team Cage was Christian Cage, Tomko, Abyss, AJ Styles, and Scott Steiner. A match was held to see who would go into the cage first. It would be a match between Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. Jeff Jarrett interfered to become the 5th member of Team Angle. Tomko entered that match as the 3rd member and was successful until being gored through the cage door. In the end, Jeff Jarrett hit Abyss with a guitar full of tacks and Sting got the pin. On the following episode of Impact, Tomko took part in Team Cage's attack on Abyss for being a liability to the team's success after Abyss and Cage failed to win the tag championships from Team 3D. 1 week later, oh my god, Tomko and Scott Steiner were given a tag team title shot, but failed thanks to a botched interference from LAX. They pointed out it was botched. At Sacrifice, Tomko and Steiner met LAX and Team 3D in a 3-way match, but failed to win again. After this loss, Rick Steiner debuted in TNA and helped Scott to attack Tomko. Tomko remained in what was, from then on, once again known as Christian's Coalition, once again focused on aiding Cage. Some friction did set in after Cage cost Tomko his May 31st, 2007 King of the Mountains qualifying match by distracting him with a chair. Tomko had been placed in the match against fellow Coalition member AJ Styles because the original contestant Jeff Jarrett no-showed due to his wife's death. Christian was able to convince Tomko to continue as his ally, which later came in handy as Tomko would go on to do much of the brunt work in the Coalition's feud against the return Abyss and Sting, though he would be twice pinned by Abyss at pay-per-views after taking a black hole slam each time. However, the Coalition finally avenged these losses with another bloody beatdown of Abyss, which also featured the laying out of Sting on the July 26th episode. On the pay-per-view that followed Hard Justice, Tomko, along with Styles and Christian, had taken part in a Doomsday Chamber of Blood match, whatever the fuck that is.
I don't even want to know.
Which Abyss picked a week after winning the contract to make it. The match was a barbed wire 6 sides of steel cage match in which the objective was to make an opponent bleed and pin that opponent. The Coalition was able to lock Sting out for a while, but after he appeared in the ring, Tomko would be the first man busted open. After a long match, Christian would escape the cage and Styles was pinned by Abyss. That was all 2006. Teaming with AJ Styles, 2007.
God.
At No Surrender, he and Styles won a 10-tag team gauntlet match to win title shots at Bound for Glory. At Bound for Glory on October 14th, AJ Styles and Tomko won the TNA Tag Team Championship from Team Pac-Man. I have no fucking clue who that is.
Oh, that's Pac-Man Jones. I know that.
Styles and Tomko defeated LAX on the November 1st edition of Impact to retain the TNA tag titles. Styles and Tomko's success led to some uncertainty within the coalition, causing Tomko to ask Christian what the chain of command was. Christian said that when he wasn't around, it was Styles, disappointing Tomko. AJ would go on to make some foolish decisions without Tomko's advice or help, starting with a takedown match against Scott Steiner. What the fuck is a takedown match? The last major
so I'm telling you.
The last major choice Styles made for the coalition was to join forces with Kurt Angle, forming the Angle Alliance. Jesus Christ, at Genesis, by assisting Angle in retaining his TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The plan quickly fell apart as Christian and Angle could not cooperate, leaving them to fight over Styles and Tomko. The tension between Christian and Kurt would make Styles doubt himself, and he'd often turn to Tomko for advice, which Tomko would not give, telling Styles that he got into this mess himself since he was the one in charge. Tomko's continued distancing of himself from both groups would lead him to separate from the alliance 2 weeks before Final Resolution on an episode of Impact, stating that from now on he works for Tomko. He and Styles defeated Kevin Nash and Samoa Joe to retain the TNA World Tag Team Championship at Final Resolution, when Styles interfered on behalf of Kurt Angle to help him retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Christian Cage, staying with the Angle Alliance and turning his back on Cage. Tomko was not present with him, leaving both Christian and Kurt Angle staying true to his word. Now we move on to 2008. Kurt Angle's henchman. On the January 3rd Impact, clarified Tomko's new outlook. While Styles worried about Christian's wrath in Kurt Angle's dressing room, Tomko explained to him that he's on his own. The following week in an interview, Tomko said Styles got himself into the situation. Matter of fact, he created it, and that Tomko knew it was a no-win situation, generally stayed out of it, and is now making his own decisions. That same night, Tomko had his first singles match since becoming independent against... Oh my god. His first singles match was against Shark Boy, who in storyline was injured and quickly defeated him. So he jobbed out fucking Shark Boy. Against all odds, Tomko would cost Christian the world title, then reluctantly aligned with Kurt Angle following Styles' example so they could stay partners, with no intention of being a team player to the point of becoming a lapdog again. He also became frustrated with Styles' constant attraction. Oh my god. He became frustrated with Styles' constant attraction to Karen Angle, claiming it's hurting the team's focus, and even exploding on Styles on an episode of Impact. At the 2008 Lockdown pay-per-view, Tomko was the captain of his own team in the Lethal Lockdown match, though his team lost to Team Cage after Rhino pinned James Storm. The following episode of Impact, Styles and Tomko lost the tag titles to Eric Young and Kazarian in a controversial fashion relating to Young's alter ego of... No, not Super Eric. No.
Super Eric.
This resulted in the titles being vacated and put on the line in a tournament at Sacrifice, which was won by LAX. Following the tournament, Tomko returned from a storyline injury suffered in Japan and expressed unhappiness towards Styles for participating in the tournament with Super Eric, who was responsible for their title loss in the first place. Styles in turn expressed frustration over having to follow others for the past months and wanted to break out on his own. Following that, Tomko wished Styles the best of luck, and they officially disbanded the tag team. Tomko continued to act as Kurt Angle's henchman, notably harassing Karen Angle on the debut of her interview segment, Karen's Angle, on the July 31st episode of Impact. He was then scheduled to feud with Matt Morgan, but the program was cut short when Tomko parted ways with TNA in late July 2008, with reports circulating that he was unhappy with management. His final television appearance was on the August 7th edition of Impact in an 8-man gauntlet match where he was pinned by Samoa Joe. Tomko had planned on working regularly for the Inoki Genome Federation in Japan, but they canceled many of their upcoming shows, opening his schedule to appear on one last time with TNA on a non-contractual basis on September 11, 2008 edition of Impact. He appeared as the third of 3 challengers to Samoa Joe as part of Kevin Nash's challenge. Okay, so now we move on to 2009, Hustle. Tomko debuted in June 2009 under a mask and the ring name Arma in the Japanese wrestling promotion Hustle, where he where he formed a villainous tag team called Armageddon with fellow former WWE star Rene Dupree.
No, I'm done. I'm done. That's too much for me, man. What the fuck?
No. Why would
You can't. Renee, you put the French tickler.
This is 2008, so it's like probably drugged out Rene Dupree too.
Oh. Not drugged out Rene Dupree.
Their team name was called Armageddon as well.
Why? What is Armageddon about them?
Oh. So Tomko's name was Arma. Guess what Rene Dupree's name was?
No, don't tell me. Do not tell me. Do not. Just shut up. Shut up.
His name was Geddon.
God damn it.
That's why their team was called fucking Armageddon. No. Oh my god.
Japan. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing?
This team would disband shortly thereafter when Geddon turned face and changed his ring name back to Rene Bonaparte. On July 30th, 2009, Bonaparte defeated Arma in Tomko's final Hustle appearance. Alright, Austin, here we are. TNA Wrestling, 2009 to 2010. On the November 19th, 2009 edition of Impact, Tomko officially returned to TNA in an interview with Lauren, seemingly as a babyface. He made his in-ring return on the December 17th edition of Impact, where he, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Abyss, and Bobby Lashley defeated Scott Steiner, Doug Williams, Brutus Magnus, Dr. Stevie, and Raven. Who the fuck is Dr. Stevie?
We'll get to that. I don't want to spoil that.
I think I might know who it is. But on the January 14th edition of Impact, Tomko turned heel as he was revealed to be as the man who attacked AJ Styles multiple times during the past 3 months, successfully scoring a match for Styles' TNA World Heavyweight Championship. However, later that night, as a result, I'm getting scared because this paragraph is ending soon. However, Styles defeated him to retain the title. On the February 4th edition of Impact, Tomko lost to Kurt Angle in an 8-card stud tournament qualifying match. On March 4th, Tomko lost to Jeff Jarrett. On March 22nd, Tomko was defeated by Rob Terry in a match for the TNA Global Championship. He was seen in a group of heels by Eric Bischoff had directed to remove Abyss's mask. On May 13th, Tomko lost to Orlando Jordan. Via submission, he made him tap out. He tapped out to Orlando Jordan, which turned out to be his last match in TNA.
Oh my!
On August 19th, 2010, Tomko's profile was placed in the alumni section on TNT's website. He came back just to lose every match, and his last TNA match was him tapping out to Orlando Jordan. How sad. Apparently there's one more paragraph. Independent Circuit 2013 to 2016. On September 4, 2013, Tomko made his debut in Ring Warriors, where he claimed to be the next Ring Warriors Grand Champion. The following week, Tomko defeated Michael Sane. On November 2nd, 2013, Tomko challenged Bruce Santee for the NWA FUW Bruiserweight Championship, but the match ended in a no contest. On February 1st, 2014, Tomko, wrestled Francisco Ciazzo at the USA Pro Wrestling 20th Anniversary Show in Orlando, Florida. Tomko won by disqualification when Ciazzo introduced a chair in the match. Oh my god, he didn't wrestle again until 2016. On January 21st, 2016, Tomko made a tweet on Twitter that he was returning to the ring. Tomko faced Locke and QT Santee at FHW Wrestling in Palm Beach, Florida on January 22nd, 2016. On February 13th, 2016, Tomko faced Tommy Vandal at an Independent Championship Wrestling in Miami, Florida. On February 22nd, 2016, Tomko faced James the Kid Sabin at Florida Hardcore Wrestling and ended up in a disqualification when Sabin hit the referee with a chair. And that is his wrestling career. He hasn't wrestled since then.
Oh, God, bro.
That was the career of Tyson Tomko, or fucking Tomko, or fucking Arma, or all these other fucking names. He was in media. He appeared in the video game TNA Impact and TNA Impact Cross the Line, where he was a playable character, as well as having various WWE action figures. Oh my god, Austin. Prior to his wrestling debut, Tomko served as a bodyguard to the band Limp Bizkit.
No, he didn't.
He appeared in their 2000 music video for My Generation. Tomko owns I might have to put that in WWE musicians. Tomko owns a gym with locations in Boca Raton and Delray Beach, Florida, called Pure Life Fitness Center, an organic restaurant called Pure Life Cafe, and a property investment company called Coastal Properties Investment Group in Florida Keys. So that's what he does nowadays. So that was the career of Travis Tomko. Austin, what did you think of that?
You know what I think? Mr. Levesque, I think you should make a call
Oh my god.
to Mr. There's untapped potential here. He could tap out to Odyssey Jones.
You know what's sad is that we're gonna have to watch that too.
I know.
I can't believe they hyped this man up and gave him a world title shot, and his career ended a couple months later by tapping out to Orlando Jordan. Like, how? And then he wrestled on the indies and went nowhere, and then said fuck it and retired. Now he does like investment companies and Pure Life health restaurants and gyms and shit. Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
I mean, he needs a gym, so that makes sense.
Oh my god. What a fucking stellar career right there. I can't wait to look up the career of some of these other people. Like, holy fucking Christ, bro. talk about a career. But yeah, that was the career of Tomko, and